Good morning. Good morning. Before we actually start, let's do a very quick sound check. Can anybody hear us well? Put a comment in the chat, if you will, just to let us know if you can hear us.
Testing, testing.
Okay, very good. Can hear. Okay, very good. So, welcome to another webinar. Welcome to the RevelX webinar studio. We're back again for another webinar, this time on trend management. Just to get the first question out of the way, the most frequently asked question for us, can we get the slides afterward? Can we get a handout? The answer is yes. We will share that at the end. Just wait till the end, and we'll give you the presentation. So don't worry. So welcome to this webinar on the power of trend management, which we have ready for you this morning. So we're actually continuing our series of webinars, which we started a couple of years ago during the COVID crisis. You can still remember, but actually we're still we're sharing best practices in driving growth through innovation. And we see a couple of people who have joined our webinars before, so welcome to you. But also some new people, so we're very, very happy to have you. If you want to sort of replay our previous webinars, you can go to our website and look at our webinars, what we call on demand, and we will actually share the link in the chat if you want to do so. To our program, so if you are following our series of playbooks, we've updated our playbooks recently. So the innovation playbook, for example, has been updated on the topic of artificial intelligence or AI. We have an updated innovation strategy playbook. We have an updated portfolio management playbook and a corporate venturing playbook. So I think there's enough for you to download to keep you busy during Christmas. But anyway, so if you want to have those playbooks, just go to our website and please use that to your advantage. So in terms of introduction, my name is Matthijs Hosman. I'm a partner at RevelX, and I will be your host for this webinar. And at RevelX, we work with organizations who are serious about realizing growth through innovation, and we support with innovation strategy, organizational development, capability building, and project and program support. And you already heard him on my left, and you can see him on the screen. But Rob Nouwens is behind the controls. He's going to make sure that everything runs smoothly today, for example, changing the microphone. So thank you for that, Rob. And he will also help us pick up on questions for today. For frequent listeners and attendees, you might miss my colleague Mark Dauma, who's usually right here next to me. He's not on the show today, but I have Elliot Wilkins from Qmarkets with me, so I'm very happy to have you. Actually, we had Michael Steelgar, who was actually attending the show today, but he couldn't make it. But anyway, Elliot, good to see you, and great to have you on the show. And maybe you can do a bit of introduction from your side, just tell the people who you are and what Qmarkets is about.
Sure. Thanks, Matthias, and hey everyone. So my name is Elliot, and as you can see, I'm the marketing manager for Qmarkets. I think there's a bit of echo on your side, Matthias, so maybe if you could mute while I'm speaking, that might be more clear. So yeah, I've spent the last 10 years or so totally immersed in the world of corporate innovation, and I love being part of this community. So in my role, I focus a lot on our strategic resources. So that includes things like guidebooks, webinars, reports, and even events, now that things are getting back to normal. I also often collaborate with our clients to help them tell the story behind their innovation program. So I really love that. I'm from the UK, but right now I'm based in Krakow in Poland, and it's wonderful to be with you all today. So just to share a few words about Qmarkets. So for those of you who aren't already familiar, we specialize in innovation management software for enterprise requirements. So this includes an end-to-end suite of tools covering the entire innovation journey. And one of the key aspects of that journey is trend management. So that leads us to the topic of today's webinar. It's worth noting that our tools are used by leading companies across the globe. So that includes Ford, Intel, Nestle, many more. So maybe there's even some familiar faces in the audience today.
Very good. No, thank you. And again, happy to have you, Elliot, in our show today. So what we'll be covering in the next 45 minutes or so on trend management is obviously we'll talk about what are trends. We'll also talk about what is trend management. We will obviously talk about applying technology to managing trends, and we also have a case study for you today. So that's on the program. We like to keep these webinars, interactive. So if you have a question, please put it in the chat, and Elliot and myself, we will pick up on your questions, as we go along. But there's also probably some room at the end of this webinar to ask for questions. Also, we like to interact with you through polls or open questions, so we'll have something for you ready for during this webinar as well. So with that all out of the way, let's go in dive into the topic of trend management. At RevelX, we've been running the innovation readiness benchmark for many years. It's a benchmark which allows companies to assess their innovation capabilities against 35 best practices in our model, and I think we've run it for about 3-4 years already now. And we have over 500 companies in our data set. So if you want to join, you're in good company. And what we found when doing our research is that one of the most important things for best-in-class innovators is to have, let's say, some kind of external focus. And when we correlate the innovation performance with external orientation, we see a very strong evidence that high performers in innovation also have that strong external focus. And what they do is they stay up to date and be aware of relevant trends around them. They then have built the capability to react to these trends when needed. They identify opportunities constantly when sort of new value creation is on the horizon. And also they adapt their long-term strategies based on these trends. So our research clearly suggests that if you actually pay attention to trends and actually are good at trend management, that also help you improve your odds at innovation. Then if we sort of dive into the topic of what is a trend, on the screen is a description of what we actually understand a trend to be. So it's a sort of a general direction in which something is developing or changing. And in the business context, it could be a shift in or a pattern in a shift in behavior, preferences, market dynamics. Something that can be observed over a longer period of time, and it obviously can be identified in various aspects of the business, such as look at, for example, consumer behavior, technological advancement, changing market demands, or competitive strategies. And we find that so following trends obviously is crucial for a business to understand and adapt to. Its signals. It often signals a change that can impact your market positioning, your product development, and your overall business strategy. So following trends to that end is crucial. When actually we discern various types of trends in which have impact on different, let's say, time scales. Obviously, starting out on the top here in the screen, you see mega trends. These are trends that sort of play out in a period period longer than about 10 years into the future. They are sort of big picture trends that extend far into the future and have the biggest impact on society. Like say, a perfect example, for example, the time we live now, is actually when the COP28 is taking place, is climate change, for example. So this is actually a trend. Obviously, it's been rooted in actually the previous century, but it has an impact, and the impact will be felt for years to come. So mega trends are basically trends that don't begin or end overnight. They represent a major societal shift in the change that we live. And also, you can also consider other examples, like, for example, the rise of cryptocurrency, the metaverse, globalization, you name them. So really big trends that span over a very long period of time. The second level of trends is what we call macro trends. Again, looking at a period of, let's say, 5 to 10 years into the future. And you can think of macro trends as sort of technological or societal developments that have an impact over that period of time. And there are some of the key developments that occur within the context of whatever megatrends are impacting the world at that time. Look at, for example, the way we live now, and the metaverse, cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things. Those are all sort of macro trends that play out under the umbrella of a megatrend. Then on the bottom, you'll find the micro trends, and the micro trends are basically trends at the most granular level. That's basically what's happening right now. So they might not have a lasting impact, but at least it's influencing the way we're doing business and the world is operating as it stands today. You could look at, for example, technologies like facial recognition for smartphones, new social media platforms that have quickly become popular, or a design aesthetic that has impact on a product or a category over time. Just to make that a little bit more tangible for you, let's look at an example. For example, we work with a client, Philips, on digital appliances like sports headphones and TVs. And one of the mega trends that we tap into for a company like Philips is the mega trend of virtualization, which basically talks about a physical, let's say, creating the virtual versions of physical resources such as computers and servers and networks. And if you sort of combine that or translate that into a macro trend, you can, for example, see digital twins as a representation of that. Then diving deeper into some sort of the micro trends is that digital twins actually help us with real-time simulation. We'll talk about the KLM case a little bit later on, but if you look at, for example, how KLM is preparing itself for the introduction of the Airbus A320, a digital twin has been produced to simulate aircraft turnaround procedures, and using this digital twin, you can actually simulate changes in the way that this aircraft brings to operations, and in the interventions that need to take place, and obviously also what is the result of those changes. So if we then move into sort of trend, so having explained what trends are, if we move into trend management, and basically as it states here on the slide, it's the sort of systematic monitoring, analyzing, and interpreting trends to inform strategic decision making. So what it actually does, and if you're really good at trend management, it can help you provide a competitive edge over your competition. It ensures that you make business decisions in time and at a relevant pace, and also helps you align with future developments. And each of the trends that we just discussed must be managed as we go through the process of building long-term strategies, medium-term tactical plans, but also short-term operational business planning. As I promised, we want to engage you as an audience as well. So we have prepared a short poll just to ask you guys, what is the state of trend management in your organization? We have 5 options that you can choose from. The first one is what we call a non-existent, which basically means we do not currently engage in trend management or consider it in our strategic planning. The second one being limited awareness. If you, for example, feel that your organization has limited awareness or understanding of trend management and its potential impact on your innovation strategy. Ad hoc, and I'm just looking at the screen for you as the answers come in. So you look at trends occasionally or sporadically, and the fourth answer, developing. So you're basically still working in the process for trend management, and fully integrated would then be organizations that make trend management a core part of strategic innovation planning and decision-making process. So let's see what the people are saying here. So ad hoc appears to be the most popular answer, with limited awareness. Okay. Some are fully integrated. So if you want to sort of get on the chat and tell us how you have fully integrated trend management, such that the other listeners can learn as well, that I think would be very interesting. So maybe Elliot, just looking at you, if you look at these results, is there any conclusion or any observation that you want to share with the people?
Yeah, well, I would say it reflects our experience in the market. The majority of corporates are not actually taking full advantage of the trend management opportunities that are available. So it seems like, for many people, there's still a lot of work that can be done in that area, which is good to see. There's plenty of opportunity to be had, to be mined in terms of trends. Excellent.
So so thank you for joining in on this poll. So we just discussed what are trends, and we talked about the importance of trend management. When working with our clients and trying to make a case for effective trend management, what we often talk about is the importance of trend management in the sense of anticipating market shifts, right? So if you understand the potential changes in the market landscape, that'll enable proactive rather than strategic strategies. So if you're keeping an eye on trends constantly and in a professional way, that becomes much easier. Another one is risk mitigation. So you can identify potential threats or disruptive trends quite early, which again allows you to mitigate those risks. But also, obviously, resource allocation. You can prioritize investments in areas which we think are most significant for growth. Just looking at the trends on your radar and assessing the strategic importance based on those trend trajectories. As a fourth element, again, I mentioned this before, but building a competitive advantage. So basically, good trend management within your organization, or actually doing it in a professional way, helps you stay ahead of competitors by recognizing them early and acting on them before they become mainstream. Obviously, in line with the topic of all of our webinars and the webinar today, trend management helps you to innovate effectively. So it helps you align your product development, service offerings, new business models evolving trends to meet future needs. So if we just then move into the role of trend management in the innovation process, it really lies in sort of guiding the identification and exploitation of emerging trends to drive innovation. So understanding trends helps you leverage them, and companies that do that well will be able to develop innovative products, services, and business models. And you should obviously always assess these trends on the right level, right? So mega trends are basically bound to influence the company's mission and vision for the future, whereas micro trends, on the other hand, are opportunities to influence your operational planning and product improvements as new technologies come to the market. And macro trends, and take, for example, the rise of artificial intelligence, which I had the pleasure of talking to a lot of people about last night, will help you sort of shape your innovation strategy for the next couple of years. If we then dive into sort of the innovation process as we define it within RevelX, let's just see what role trend management can play in each of those various stages. I think there's a question that came up. We think is that we'll leave that for the channel. Sorry for that. So again, at RevelX, we identify 4 stages in the innovation process, starting with contextualization. Contextualization really talks about the process of translating your organization's corporate strategy and growth ambitions into an innovation strategy. It helps you sort of define the role of innovation in realizing that strategy and the innovation themes that you have to develop. Moving on to ideation, it covers the process of, let's say, further exploration of innovation themes to find innovation opportunities. Basically helps you find 2 things: what are the problems worth solving within my market or customer community, and what are the threats in the market which I have to respond to. And then the third step is what we call validation, finding problem-solution fit. So is there actually a problem that we can solve? Or is there a solution that fits those problems? And can we build a viable business model out of that? And the fourth step is then to scale up the business. So it basically revolves around sort of launching innovation into the market and turning on your growth engines, which is actually most of the challenging parts of the innovation process as it stands. By the way, we have our innovation warehouse available on our website. It contains many tools and templates which you can use in your innovation process. For example, consider using our innovation strategy canvas, which you can download to build your own innovation strategy and define the role and purpose of innovation within your organization. Helps you ask the right questions on how to structure your innovation strategy, and take, for example, this first section about the drivers for disruptive innovation, which basically talks about the societal megatrends, technological drivers, and unfulfilled customer needs, which you obviously fuel with your own trend management efforts. Actually, when building your own innovation strategy, taking into account trends, we follow a 3-step approach. And this 3-step approach includes trend screening, trend assessment, and actually building your own trend radar. Obviously, talking about trend screening, you should look at which trends are relevant for my company or industry, and you can use a trend research tool to help you get to the right trends first. Obviously, we'll talk about that in the later section in this webinar. Trend assessment really revolves around assessing the influence that a trend will have on your future business. But you should also consider the time to mainstream adoption. So when will this trend be used by the majority of players in the industry, and also obviously considering how well is my company or the industry at large prepared for dealing with this trend. And then lastly, I think that really is the crux of trend management, is building your own trend radar. And the trend radar basically is an overview on 3 levels, which we call watch, prepare, and act. So ACT really is about the trends that have a very high influence on your business. Well, on the short term, could either be today or within the next couple of years. Obviously, these trends should be analyzed straight away, and if you haven't already done so, obviously, and you have to find concrete measures to deal with those trends. On the second level, which we call prepare, those are the trend that will have an impact on your business in the foreseeable future. Maybe not currently, not today, or in the very short term, but at least in a couple of years to come. It really is your job to understand, what those trends are and how they impact your business, and you should be ready to implement measures accordingly. And then the trends you have to watch. Those are basically trends that might influence the business, but they're actually quite fuzzy still on the horizon. So a three-pronged approach to trend management. First of all, trend screening. So what's on the horizon? Trend assessment. How does it apply to me? And trend radar basically is your operational trend management activity. Before basically handing over to Elliot at Qmarkets, obviously we're very keen on learning how you search for trends and how you organize your trend and scouting efforts, specifically in that area of trend screening. What are the tools that you use to look at the market, to look actually outside of the building to find opportunities or maybe disruptive threats which you have to address with innovation? Please use the chat for your answer, and I think there's one right here, and I have to find my way around this one on my screen because that'll probably be easier. There's a question here from Nikolai. He asks, are there any industries where trend management is more important to do than others? And how would you implement trend management in a smaller department like a corporate incubator in a team of 8? Well, I think the answer there is I think that trend management is important across any industry. I think we at RevelX, we work for corporate governments, corporate government institutions, large and small companies. Obviously, we're also working in the startup arena. And the startup is often obviously the result of an emerging trend, right? So it's key to keep an eye open for what's happening outside in the world. And maybe Elliot, you can comment on how you would implement trend management in a smaller organization or a smaller team, as the question states. So if I can the torch to you on that question.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, just to address the first part quickly as well, I think it's easy to assume that there's certain industries or sectors where trends are less relevant, where it's less disruptive, and there's less big ideas flying around. But I think the thing to remember is that you don't know what you don't know, and there could be something around the next corner that's going to just totally disrupt your domain. So I think it's important for every industry, every company to at least have some dedicated efforts in the trend management area. And I think, you can easily start small with that. You can start with just an ad hoc process, like it seems like some of the audience are doing already. We can facilitate that on our platform quite easily. It's not like idea management or technology scouting where you might need a larger team or like a critical mass of audience to be successful. You can start with just a single user, a single individual, and start importing trends and assessing the data that's already out there. We could go into a lot more detail, but it's definitely something that's easy to start small with, as long as you have at least a couple of hours a week, I would say, to dedicate to the topic.
Okay, thanks, Elliot. And I just want to mention this comment by James. He says, in terms of dragging a net to capture trends, we use tools such as Widener or MBrain. So I guess you should Google those. But he also then comments that I take these findings and use them as a basis for in-depth conversations with diverse subject matter experts, always validating the incoming findings with the perspective provided by seasoned professionals and experts. I think that's an excellent comment. Thank you, James, for doing that. And I think we should switch to Elliot to talk about Qmarkets and how you guys are sort of leveraging technology for trend management, because I think that is a nice. Actually, James provided a very nice segue for you to talk about our engagement on the side of Qmarkets. And I'm sure you guys have all seen the press release that we put out last year, where we announced our relationship and partnership with Qmarkets, and we've been working on various clients over the last year on sort of bringing the power of technology both for trend management as well as trend scouting and ideation to various companies. So happy to turn the mic to you, Elliot, to explain the people a little bit about what Qmarkets does and how technology can help them sort of leverage the trends within their business.
Let's jump on to the next slide. So just to give you some context, this is how we see innovation at Qmarkets. It might look a bit overwhelming, and we do have an extended set of slides where we kind of dive into each of these individual stages. But what you're looking at is an overview of the innovation funnel. So this is meant to illustrate how companies are delivering innovations to the market. So in the middle, we have this big blue circle, and this represents your company. So that includes your internal stakeholders. Within that label, you have employees, your leadership team, various business units within your company. You can see also the challenges and the opportunities that surround your company there in the middle. And on the left-hand side, you have everything outside of the company. So there you have external stakeholders. That includes customers, partners, and supply chain. That's the blue label at the top. And beneath that, you have data points. So that includes research, patents, market signals, and of course, trends. So that's the topic we're focusing on today. On the right-hand side, you have the results and outcomes that you can deliver through this kind of funnel. And these colorful boxes that you see represent the core pillars of an innovation strategy. So let's zoom in on those a little bit. So the idea is, if you can harness all the different people and data points that I just briefly went through and leverage them all as part of a strategic innovation process, you can deliver some incredible results for your company. At Qmarkets, we offer a dedicated tool for each of these core techniques. So trend management, idea management, technology scouting, continuous improvement, and innovation portfolio management. So we could dive into a lot of detail about each of these, but for the purpose of this webinar, we'll just focus on the trend management. We don't want to get too complicated. So trend management is one of the most critical aspects of any innovation process. That's why it's at the top of the funnel here. It represents the process of identifying innovation opportunities at the earliest possible point. So that gives you the best chance of leveraging them to drive growth and create value. And QTrend, our tool, facilitates all of this. And the great thing is that it can be integrated with our other tools as part of a wider ecosystem to allow you to tackle the full innovation process. This is our main core benefits of QTrend. So the great thing about it is that it allows you to not only scout for trends at the top of your funnel to gather them and create a knowledge base of trends across your company, but also to create a collaborative process around your trends. And that connects to the challenge that James mentioned of engaging senior leadership. You can once you've got this knowledge base, you can engage your internal stakeholders. You can invite them to join the platform and to be part of the process, and to you have some data and results to actually show the value that it's representing for your company. So this is what a typical trend management process looks like. Of course, this can be tailored to your specific requirements, and it could look totally different, but this is our kind of best practice 4 stages. One of the best things about that tool is the powerful self-admin. So you can really tailor this to your specific teams and create an intelligent and efficient process. So just to quickly run through this process. So first up is the scan stage. On the right here, you can see a mock-up of the Qtrend product. So this is how it can look, but obviously it can be tailored to your requirements. So you'll see your own brand there, your own unique corporate identity can be implemented. And this is where the scan stage is where you would gather the input, or in this case, the trends and the market signals. This can be fulfilled in a few different ways. So we have seamless integrations with a number of data providers, allowing you to import curated trends into your system around specific topics. Or you can scan the web in real time for intel around other topics or keywords. You can also import trends from your own data bank, or manually submit them on an individual basis. So there's lots of different ways to scan trends and pull them into your knowledge base. Next up is the observe stage. So this is where our collaboration features come in. Once trends are in the knowledge base, you can gather information around them from anyone within your organization. With our clustering and sonar tools, you can get a strategic visualization that helps you identify the ones that have the most potential. So this connects to the sonar visual that Matej showed before. You can do that directly in the system and have the act, observe, and I can't remember the third stage, but we can fulfill that directly in the platform. Next up is the evaluation reporting. So this allows you to analyze trends and gather strategic insights that you can use for forecasting, and of course to showcase to your leadership team. And finally, Qtrend allows you to manage the process of actually implementing your trends across the business. So at this point, it could also be interesting to use trends for inspiration, to gather ideas for implementing the trend. So that could be in connection with our idea management tool, for example. You can use it. You can put out a trend and then say, this is something interesting for us, but we're not sure how we actually can leverage it. Can you share some ideas for how it can be used within your specific team? So that's a great way to put it into action. And this can all be connected as part of your wider process to create a full ecosystem. This is about our integrations. So thanks to our powerful API, you can leverage an endless stream of innovation intel through different third-party data providers. So whether you need something quick and simple to gather early intent signals, or you need something more comprehensive, we've got you covered with these different integrations. So this can also include things like technologies and startups and patents. It's not limited to just trends. You can also scout for opportunities for trends that have actually already became technologies or developed further into solutions that are ready to be implemented within your business. So just to give a very quick example, a big automotive company is using our Feedly integration, and that's an intelligent web content crawler for those of you who aren't aware. It picks up and feeds Qtrend with relevant market signals in real time. Then they process the trends and signals with an intelligent automated workflow that they built in the system to meet their custom requirements. Each signal is evaluated as a future risk or investment by a team of experts within the company. And then the sonar helps them zero in on the most lucrative opportunities out there with the aim of cutting down the time to market. So that's a great example of how the integrations could fuel your trend management process. But it's there's a lot that you can do here, and it's really up to you. So that's a very quick overview of our trend management capabilities. Hopefully most of that made sense, but happy to answer any questions and go into more detail in the Q&A section. And of course, we'd be happy to show you more through a live demo and exactly how it can work in the context of your company and your challenges.
Yeah, okay. So thanks, Elliot, for that. I think maybe one question we could pick up now is one that's asked by Sylvain about to what extent does Qmarkets trend platform work for trend spotting within hardcore B2B industries, for example, a heavy industry. Maybe you want to.
With the term hardcore B2B industries or heavy industry, but we have so many integrations with so many different trend tools that I'm confident that we can have some content and some data there that's relevant, whatever kind of industry you're in. So we can look at that offline in more detail and see exactly how we can fulfill that. I think we can even show you through a call some trends that might be relevant for you specifically, just as a complementary service, but happy to discuss that offline.
Okay, so thank you, Elliot. Just to give a bit more flavor of what Qtrend can do for a company, we just wanted to quickly dive into a case study that we've done together for KLM on Blue Labs. Obviously, during the COVID crisis, KLM as an airline was very publicly affected by COVID-19. With the world in lockdown, there was no need for air travel. There was actually no possibility for air travel. And with being a huge company, we're actually a Dutch icon. KLM was supported by governments with loans and subsidies. Obviously not without consequences, because they have to be repaid. People had to be let go. Cost measures had to be taken, and we were approached by KLM to help them sort of build back the operations after COVID using technology. And we partnered with Qmarkets to help them tackle that challenge. So what we did with KLM is to build, the Blue Labs Technology Innovation Hub with some very talented people at KLM side, obviously. And the goal of Blue Labs was to apply technology solution to KLM's business challenges, specifically sort of improving operations and bringing back, the level of operations after COVID. So we work with business domains such as, for example, ground handling, passenger services, apron services, so all of the stuff that happens around the airplane as it comes in and it leaves again. And the key ingredient in that innovation hub was an operating model, and that operating model obviously included the function of trend and technology scouting solutions. So, working with Qmarkets, we have gone through a project of implementing Qtrend and Qscout. So Qtrend, the role of Qtrend really was to build, let's say, that collaborative trend knowledge base, as Elliot just explained. We integrated Qtrend with Trend One, which is an external database, which really provides real-time access to the latest trends relevant to the airline, and also allows for let's say, a universal language around trend management and trends in the industry. And then Qscout had the role of really scouting for solutions and partners in the market, which would be relevant to the challenges at hand. And also at Qscout, we integrated with Wellspring, and Wellspring was able to at least uncover about 2,000 databases, including everything from early stage research to startups to companies offering solutions for KLM's challenges. Basically, having access to this wealth of information allowed KLM to really quickly match its business challenges to these key trends and promising technologies startups around the world. And obviously, as we were looking to solve, here and now issues, so really current issues, we were on the hunt for proven technologies. So for people in the technology business, so technology readiness level 7 to 9, and actually Qscout was a very it was a very good tool to help us do that. For example, when we were working with ground services, we focused on the reduction of physical labor. So, Sylvain, your question about hardcore B2B heavy industry, we looked at some of the trends around robotics and automation in this environment, and really started to look at how can we improve, the working conditions for people working in for example, baggage handling and ground services department. Obviously, as you know, these people are experiencing quite a bit of human strain, if you will. So we're looking into solutions that really help, improve the working conditions for people. First, obviously, by gaining insight, so what's actually happening within those environments, but then also offering solutions on that. So on the screen here, you see some of the scouted solutions around computer visioning for ergonomic solutions, but also workplace safety systems, a smart safety vest, which basically looks at, how are we taxing people basically during operations while they were doing their job, and how can we use that data to improve the working situation. Another area which we looked in was ground services, which basically revolves around, improving passenger flow throughout the airport as well as into the planes. So if you take that, that's actually that area of concern into consideration within Q Scout. We started scouting for example, automatic passenger counting systems, crowd management solutions. But again, as I explained earlier on in the example when I talked about the different trends, digital twinning can really help optimize passenger handling, but also the use of cameras and augmented reality solutions really sort of cuts loading times into airplanes. So basically, what it did is working with the Q Trend and Q Scout solutions was to sort of democratize, the technology innovation process within KLM, allowing KLM Blue Labs to work very quickly with its business counterparts within the organization. And I just saw a comment about, the importance or the advantages and disadvantages of engaging experts in this process. And I think what it really helped KLM to do is to give everybody a place within that innovation journey, in that scouting journey. So not only talk to experts both inside and outside of the business, but basically allowing sort of the full team to scout for solutions, and both in terms of technology solutions as technology partners to help solve some of those issues. So I think that's a very encouraging case in how working with trend management software and end-to-end software like Qmarkets can really help accelerate the pace of innovation within the organization. But maybe and Elliot, I would like you to sort of round this piece off to really talk about the benefits of trend management. Obviously we talked about this before. It provides you a competitive advantage, helps you adapt to trends in a timely manner. It helps you identify opportunities, anticipate negative trends, improve customer service, and obviously also profitability. I think the KLM case provides some really nice examples of that. But then obviously this is your area, Elliot. Maybe you can quickly sort of summarize, what the benefits of using end-to-end software such as Qmarkets is in this situation.
So, like I touched on earlier, there are some huge benefits of implementing a trend management tool like ours, especially. First and foremost, allows you to formalize a process around trends. It creates a central source of truth, not just a home for trends within your business, and that can be valuable not only for the innovation team, but for multiple other teams across your business. It's even more valuable when you can implement trend as part of a wider innovation process, so it can inform everything you do, whether it's in continuous improvement or idea management or portfolio management. It has a great impact across the full innovation funnel. Of course, it connects to each of the things you've got here with the collaboration and the transparency, and to the things that have been mentioned in the chat today. So I really like the discussion that's going on around experts. It's a really interesting topic. We've got some content on it ourselves. So one of the arguments that we always point to is the experts have been proven to be wrong in many cases, and that sometimes it's better to trust the power of the crowd over the power of experts. There's the really nice example from the Oscars. I think every year the experts choose who they think are going to win, and then there's like a survey that's asks 1,000 or 10,000 people who they think will win, and the power of the crowd, pretty much always wins over the expert opinions. So that's something that we like to offer, is the combination of expertise and crowdsourcing to really get the best results. And I think Richard Branson said you can never underestimate the power of staying ahead of the curve, or something like that. I think I might be paraphrasing, but that's what Qtrend allows more than any of our other tools. It allows you to see round the corner, see what's ahead of you, and find a way to get there before anyone else, and leverage it in your innovation plans. So that's how I would sum it up.
So great, thank you, Elliot. And indeed, the lively conversation about experts in the innovation field, I think is worth a read in the chat. So thank you for engaging with us on this topic. I think that brings us to the end of this webinar for today. There's some room for Q&A. So if you have any more questions, then please put them in the chat so we can offer our response to those. As always, we also offer you our helpful resources. My book, Dare on Corporate Innovation, is still available for people who are looking to get a copy. Also look at our assessment tools. We have a corporate venturing readiness assessment tool, but also an innovation readiness benchmark assessment tool, which you talked about. You can download one of our many innovation playbooks and tools from our warehouse. And actually, we recently launched a playbook jointly with Qmarkets, which also includes a lot of information about the Qmarket tool set and portfolio. So if you want to know more about that, download that one as well. Obviously, you can always down or visit our blogs, so the Qmarkets blog and some other resources to get educated on in the field of trend management and the power of technology in that area. Also, we always offer what we call a 30-minute consultation with us, as after these webinars. So if you feel that there are topics that you would like to continue the discussion on, don't hesitate to reach out and give us a call. I have to say that we don't usually stick to the 30 minutes. So if the conversation drags on, so we don't mind. But anyway, please do so. And also, if you want to know more about Qmarkets, you can book a demo with Elliot. Rob has actually put a handy link on the screen, so you can, if you click that one, you will be contacted by Qmarkets for a demo at your at whatever time is convenient for you. We will continue our discussion, actually, our webinars in the next year. So we're going to take a break for Christmas and New Year's, I think, as many people will do. We're actually we're busy preparing a relaunch of our brand. We're going to actually we're actually building an entire new website, so that will be live somewhere beginning of Q1. And we're also working on our new series of webinars. So keep an eye on our channels, either our newsletters or website for the next webinars of the season. If are there any questions, anything that we need to pick up, Rob? I'm looking at you. Anything?
Just to quickly touch on the demo request, by the way, I'd love to share some relevant trends with any of you. through a live demo. That's something that we're always happy to do. So just to re-emphasize that, we can dive into the system and actually pinpoint some trends that might be interesting for you and inspire some creativity. So that's something that we're happy to do, and just wanted to touch on that.
Okay, great. Yeah, I think that's a good addition. Just looking at Rob, do we have anything to share?
I think we are good for now.
Yeah, we're good for now. So thank you very much for attending this webinar. Thank you, Elliot, for joining me all the way from Poland today. It was a pleasure having you. And
well, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. And to all of the attendees in the in this webinar, thank you again. I hope to see you next week or next year in our new series of webinars. Hope you get some time to rest and fuel up during the holidays, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year. So.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.